To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. Okay, so today I got a big project ahead of myself. Hopefully I can finish it in one day. Hopefully I can get this done today. But today I got all the materials pulled out and purchased, or the stuff that I had left over to build the well house to our well. I gotta get this big old tarp off of it. I've been using the tarp to cover it so the water wouldn't hit it, which is what the well house is gonna do. What I got going on today is I'm gonna build a box, a three-sided box. The front I'm gonna have left open. It's gonna be 4 feet long, 4 feet wide, 4 feet tall. And then I'm gonna put a roof on it that's gonna be 8 foot square, 8 foot long, 8 foot wide. I'm gonna set that down onto the center of the building. That way the water won't ever hit the concrete pad, which is just a little bit bigger than 4 feet square. I'm going 4 feet because it's so easy to cut everything at 4 feet lengths. And that way the water that does run down, come down from the rain, will hit my French drain here. So I got the French drain on the upside, that's the upside of the hill, on this upside, and then everything else is the downhill side, so it all runs off that direction. I've been thinking about angling the roof a little bit so the water would run my way, but I come up with a better idea. The concrete floor is already angled this direction towards me, downhill. I think I'm just gonna lay the building on the concrete pad and let the water run naturally in the same direction as the concrete pad. Now I'm gonna use 2x2s. I don't expect a lot of weight to be on it. Oh, Rob, the snow is gonna cave that in. The snow isn't gonna cave it in. I mean, I live here. I watch what's going on. If it starts to snow, I can wipe the snow off the porch, just like you're supposed to. So I'll do the same with the well house. The chicken coop was made out of 2x2s, and I did that on purpose so it's light enough that I can move it around on its wheels. But the thing is, I don't have a lot of 2x2s. So what I got to do here today is I got these 2x6s, and I need to cut them to a 2x2 length. So you'll see here I got a 2x2. I'll just draw a line. That'll give me, I think, 3 2x2s. I'm going to screw a guide on this, the same width as my saw here. That way I can just take the saw and cut it across. Now you'll see that I got my metal cutting blade on it right now. When I cut this, I found that the easiest way to cut it was with my grinder because I didn't want to get my saw out. Well, now the saw is out. It has to be out because I had to rip those boards. So I'm just going to cut the plastic with that grinder. Everything else I used, this jigsaw, a saw blade, chipped it, and I don't want to chip it. I mean, it's very flexible. See, these are hail resistant, but regardless, the grinder worked. And it doesn't really melt, it just kind of flakes it off. First thing I'm gonna do, since the grinder wheel is already on the saw, is I'm gonna cut 3 sheets in half. That'll give me all the walls I need. So I just ran a chalk line at the 4 foot line. These are 8 feet panels. I need 4 feet panels because I'm going to go 4 feet high on my building. There's 3 panels stacked here, so I'm going to cut all 3 of them at the same time. Got to make sure your edges down here at the edge are all lined up. Okay, so that gives me 6 sheets at 4 feet long, cut very nice and smooth as you saw. I really like that I discovered how to cut this. And it doesn't melt it or burn it. I don't know if you can see that, but it actually flakes it like sawdust. So there's very little melting going on, if any. Okay, I was gonna put a guide on here. I was gonna use a 2x2 guide, and I decided not to. It's just gonna slow me down. Having to measure out the guide, put it in the right spot, so my saw could just run right up against the guide like that. And then the other thing is that since I'm getting 3 boards off one 2x6, I just have to be moving it around. So, now I said there's 3 boards here. You'll see that I got 1, 2, 3. This is not actually a 2x6. It's actually like a 1.5 by 5.5. I use this 2x2 to draw out my lines. And so I got 1.5, 3, 4.5. This last one is only 1 inch. And I don't want to use 1 inch. I definitely want to use 1.5 inches. But I decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use this for the trim of my building. You'll see on the house here that we have it all trimmed out in brown. And that's what I want to do with the well house. Since those are tan panels, and this is a tan panel, I want to trim it out in brown. So I'll just paint those extra 1-inch pieces and put it there just as a decorative trim. Okay, so now you can see that I made my first 2x2. Had a little bit of problem with the generator. It needed to warm up. It kept dying because the saw was taking too much power. But once the generator warmed up, it seemed to do much better. Now, you'll see that what I did was I cut along the cracks of my porch. Okay, so I got all the 2x2s cut, or 2x6s and the 2x2s cut. It took a lot longer than I expected. The generator really struggled getting through it. The generator just didn't have the oomph to go that long with that much power. But I got it, so we'll see if we can at least get the walls done today, framed out, and get the plastic on it, the PVC paneling. I don't think I'm gonna have enough time to get the roof done. We'll see, but. Okay, once again, I'm going to use the screws that I used on the house. I have so many left over from when I built the house. Long story, but this actually comes pretty close to matching. Better than anything else I've used her for. Now, just like I did on the porch roof, we're going to put these on the peaks this time. On the house, we put it in the valleys. The reason you put your screws on the peaks is so the water will run off, especially on the roof. On the walls, it doesn't make that big of a difference, but on the roof, you want that water to run off that peak because there's little seals on these screws, and that screw is going to seal up against there, and that water is going to run off. Okay, so I've set the clutch on the drill so that it will slip when the screw gets to the correct depth. That way you don't overscrew it and cause a valley or a divot in your peak here. Okay, so I finished the first panel. Went pretty fast. The only thing that took a long time was screwing all the screws in. So I might be able to get it all done today. I'm working as fast as I can. Okay, I got all 3 panels done. I'm going to try to get the roof done. I can prefab that over here on the porch as well. I'm going to try to get it done. And then assembly shouldn't be that hard. Just slap the 3 sides together and put the roof on. It should be pretty easy. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to give it a try. Okay, so I got the roof done. So I don't have a lot of time left, but I'm going to try to get this thing assembled. The assembly shouldn't take long at all. Okay, so I think I got it. It's all rolling downhill, so it's leaning that direction. I got it level side to side, but I got it sloping towards down the hillside. And it doesn't look that bad doing that. So now you can see that the rain won't fall past the French drain. So the water will go into the French drain will drain it down the hill here. Now what I'm going to do to make sure that this thing doesn't fly away is I'm going to take PVC pipe. Now you'll see right here that the dirt wall is right behind it. So I'm going to drill a hole into the board here, through the plastic into the board. I'm going to drive a PVC pipe through the wall into that dirt all the way around, and that'll secure it from flying up. And then I'll come in behind this and I'll fill the gaps in with dirt. I got a pile of dirt back there, and then all I got to do is paint the trim to make it match the house, and this thing will be finished. So another project that I promised you I would get finished is finished. So I hope I can inspire you to finish your projects when you're living your dream. Thanks for watching.